What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We have finally completed your exclusive level 3 legend tier list, and you're going to see a lot of moving around. And I am joined again by Gandalf, but we'll talk to Gandalf in just a moment. He's been poorly, but he's back with a bit of better health. Don't forget, using Carzak on Aptoid, you can save yourself an extra 5% on cashback and save bigger discounts through Aptoid itself. If you want to know anything about that, link in the description below. But I do want to get on with this video because it's going to be a bit of a long one. I will note that there's just so many heroes in the game now. It's very hard to do this by memory, so we may have to go back in and check just a couple of exclusives because you can only remember so much. So welcome back to the channel, Gandalf.
Thanks for having me again, Carzak.
Oh,
I know I've been away for a little bit, but I am recovering.
I was like, is he gone? Where's he gone? But you're back. No, it's good to have you.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I know. I wish we would have done this a little bit sooner, but you can never know when you get sick.
Yeah, and I've been busy doing other things as well, and then you've been like, you was ready, I think, not long ago, and then yeah. So we're gonna go through this. We have the needs rework. We don't need to talk about any of those. They do need a rework. We have down there Solly, Sinton, Vera, Lam, Igor, Gustav, Luz, Gru, Valentine, Villet, Will, Zach Zulu, Teru, Timmy, Milia, Amelik, oh my god, Aisha, oh my god, Garina, Jennifer, Carid, Edith, Sana, is it Carid? Dude, I'll say it how I want to say it, okay?
Carid. Say it however you want to say it.
Yeah, Shouder, Horace, oh my god, what's the clown again? Is it Dorian?
Dario.
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 Dorian, Dario. Yeah. Dario. Claude, Carrie, and Madalena. Okay, now I can make this list a bit better. I can, yeah, so people can see a bit more. Let me move that down a bit further, like that, and open this up so people can see the whole. Nope, you can't see the whole list yet. My bad editing skills here. Don't forget the list will be in the description. Pardon me, the description as well if you want to check it yourself so you can get the image. A tier. There's been a few more put into A tier, hasn't there, Gandalf?
Yeah, quite a few heroes we moved it down. If you compare against our last exclusive one video, really by the time when you have access to all the exclusive, the pool of heroes you're really using becomes a lot less.
Yes.
I would say the heroes here in A, it's not like they're not viable. You still see them in use,
Yeah.
especially say Faction Abyss, right? It's just when you have access to other hero for most part of your PvE content, you wouldn't be using these mostly.
It just becomes
but they
niche,
still do
doesn't it?
see very, yeah, I'll just say, they're underused.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll go through the names of them quickly. It's Greta, Ariel, Megan, Natalie, Belton, Mai, Burns, Hertha, Serena, Tara, Tifia, Olga, Sewell. What's the burner called again? It's Gunnar, isn't it? Gunnar, yeah. Turf, Gunnar, who I don't like seeing in A, but that's where he belongs at the minute. Slaval, Mutu, Yoko, Zia, Margarita, Asindo, Gramdi, Naskama, Alahan, Fiona, Zyra, Popper, and Brynhild. I'm struggling with all these names. God.
It's a little bit hard when you play multiple Gattridge games and try to remember all of the heroes' name.
I know. So we will start to, we're into A+ now. We will start to talk about a couple of these in here. But mainly we want to focus on S+, like S+ God. Slackdo still in here at A+.
Yes, Slackdo still has his place. I mean,
yeah, he does.
It's because, I mean, if we look at Slackdo is definitely not in here for the damage. Belton does more damage, especially in one turn, but Slackdo has a lot more utility. Right, the turn reduction is high. The strip, the stripping, the buff blocks. There's there's a lot of things that
He does.
he brings to the
He
table.
is one of the long-standing heroes as well, and people still sleep on him.
Like you should see him being used in faction. He
Yeah.
actually does okay
Oh,
amount of
dude,
damage.
he's so good. He's so good in Faction
Yeah.
Abyss. Um, Besmok. Now, Besmok, a lot of you will remember the famous video, we'll call it, where he destroyed Guild Boss 5, I think it was back in the day. And he dropped off a lot since then. He dropped off a lot since then. However, I do feel if you have Rista with Ben Austin, Besmok can really make a bit of a comeback, or at least I'm hoping. I will be doing some testing soon, but Besmok is sitting in at A plus at the minute, but he does do a lot of basic damage as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, because I think the I mean at full exclusive he does have chances of getting more dark lightning out.
Yeah,
So being able to consume those stacks, you're just getting multiple hits off of him. So he's gonna wave clear, and even if he's targeting a single target, he's gonna be able to do multiple attacks on the same target more frequently.
yeah,
So that allows him to compete against the other physical damage dealer test.
yeah. Mive is still sitting in here, still hanging on at A plus. She's still a very valid hero, but the difference between E1 and E3 isn't massive. Guilliman, however, does come in, start doing a lot more damage now. Strip, speed down, but the damage it's tough because in PvE the damage isn't quite enough. If she had a big basic attack, I think it'd be different for Guilliman.
Yeah, it's just that part. I mean, for the most part, she's again in here for her utility,
Yeah,
the res blocks, the strips, the slow. The damage at E3 allows her to still be up here, unlike some of the other strippers, like Naskarma.
sorry, are we talking
Um,
strippers?
uh, yeah, buff removal, right?
I thought you were talking about strippers. Okay, but yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
yes.
She is still useful. She still sits in A plus, and all of these heroes in A plus are still very useful. They just get outshined by those above. We have
Yeah.
Thanatos here, who rework we did think was going to be massive, didn't we? But it
Yeah, we did think
didn't.
it was massive. I mean, his first exclusive was very important.
Yeah,
But over time, you do find that, yeah, you can use them as a single target damage dealer, but compared to the other ones, they're, I mean, it's just not there where it needs
yeah.
to be.
It's
Like,
just not enough.
it's not,
It's a lot, but
yeah,
it's not enough.
it's a lot. Don't get me wrong, but if you look at it in this tier list, there are only two other single target damage dealer
Yeah,
that's really in here. That's direct damage.
yeah,
One is Akina, and the other one's Lucifer, right? So really, he's
exactly.
kind of third place. So that says a lot. He is strong. It's
Yeah,
just
that is
not strong
true.
enough.
That's true.
Yeah.
Donald Rebel Eye is sitting in here at A plus. Eric is here with Taff, Walter. Alicia is in A plus. You don't think her multipliers are good enough, do you?
Yeah, the multipliers are just not there. Yes, she gets 2 turns. She looks like she can wave clear once the enemy gets a little bit tankier. No, she cannot wave clear. Extending the bleed a lot have that.
Yeah.
It's just no, that's
I
not
mean,
what you need. I think it's a lot with actually, with some of the introduction of the newer heroes we'll get to very soon, but they
yeah,
really started to, up the game for the bleeders there.
they did.
We'll get to them in a sec.
Elena is still useful as well. One of the old legend heroes again was out when the game released. Still useful. Still a useful hero.
Yeah.
Aodine though. Aodine still in at A plus.
Yeah, I mean all the exclusive in there, it just increases his
Crazy, isn't it?
damage. I mean the HP burn is still up there, right? But I mean survivability is always something that we care about.
Yeah.
He keeps trying to kill himself, doesn't really help.
Yeah, he does. He just
Yeah,
kills himself.
no.
Okay. Ockmin, or as you say, Oakmin, A plus used to be a god tier hero, and he's down in at A plus now. Still useful though, so don't go thinking he's not useful. He is still a very good hero. Hoff as well is at A plus, and Hoff has some great combinations. If it was a combination tier list where we said if you used him with this hero, then maybe. But on his own, as an E3, he doesn't bring a huge amount. I mean, we could compare him to the likes of Fokaz. Where is Fokaz? Oh my
Focus, I
god,
think.
we've got Fokaz in A plus as well.
That's right, because I mean,
Yeah, There's just
At
no
this
space for him
point,
on the team. There's no space.
yeah, there's no space for them on the team anymore because it's like how space kind of fell down to. It's like
Yeah,
if that's the only one thing you can do, that's not enough.
exactly.
By the time you get to competing for best heroes once you're
Yeah.
at full exclusive.
I mean, for example, we can talk about Nasil a moment, and Nasil E1 is huge, okay? But when he gets to E3 and other heroes get E3, just look at the difference, the shift. He was at S plus in our tier one, right? In our
Yeah, he
exclusive one.
was. I mean, his ladder exclusive does make him, tankier, more
Yeah.
health. He's able to, increase restoration,
But
immune to
why?
death when he takes fatal damage. But hey, that's about himself. That's not
Yeah.
supporting the whole team, right? So
But
that's not.
we could argue, well, Quinlan replaces Nasil for the freeze and damage, right?
Yeah,
And
that's right.
also Ulcaster with the freeze as well. So this is why
And the
he
damage
is
and
in
the
it.
defense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. Aether, I know nothing about this unicorn defense hero.
Well,
Um,
I mean, you can think of her as like you start the turn almost like a How, where you do a big ally protection on everybody.
yeah,
I think the biggest downside to her in the whole design for PvE is that she can't get the boss to focus on her,
okay,
right? And she can protect her allies, but there's only so much she can do when you can't block those single target hits. So that's why all the heroes with taunts are super helpful in a
yeah,
PvE situation where you can get the boss to focus on your tank. She
yeah,
can
I
protect her
agree.
allies all right, but she's not going to. For example, in PvP is very different. Like when she loses her unicorn state, she stuns
Yeah,
the target that
yeah,
does it.
that's
You
yeah,
can't stun a boss, right? If you can stun the boss, that would be huge, right?
yeah, but you
But
can't. So,
her
so,
kit, yeah.
so it's useless, isn't it, Gandalf?
No, I mean it's. I'm sure she will have a play. She can be okay in faction just for a bit. I mean, she's
Yeah,
not definitely not your best tier for PvE. If you know how to use her properly in PvP, she's a
yeah,
pain to deal with
yeah.
sometimes.
Um, Alec is at A plus. Still a very viable shielder, defense buffer, buff blocker. Huge in Wizard's Eye faction. We have Inner in at A plus here. Another consolidation shielder and turn skill decreaser. I would say, or skill increaser for the enemy, isn't it? It makes them slower.
Yeah,
It pushes their skills
she
back, doesn't it?
well, I don't think does she does turn meter reduction? She doesn't, right? It's not like Ben where you push the turn meter back as well, but she definitely increases the cooldown.
Yeah. And
Um,
just on that note, guy, Gandalf isn't quite 100%. He still has a cough, so you heard him then battling through that. Okay, what a soldier! But that you struggling there,
yeah.
battled through
Uh,
it.
yeah, but other than that, I mean, she's definitely very good in faction for sure.
Yeah,
Like because her uniqueness is she protects certain factions a lot more than others.
yeah. Tuck at E3 doesn't get much more than his E1. His E1 is probably his biggest, where he can unfreeze our allies and then shield as well. But he is sitting in at A plus now, no longer at S plus when we compare him to the other heroes here. Albeck is sitting in at A plus along with Islet, Alsa, and Focaz is still well, I say has been moved down to A plus. That's just because there's not enough spots on our teams anymore. Space is still very viable, but she compared to some of the others on here, she's going to sit in at A plus. And Malkio, I wasn't mad on his rework.
I mean I was pretty happy with his rework. He previously was unusable in PvE. Previously, I would say,
Yeah,
just because the um, amount of downtime in between his skills. Now he's able to cycle through all of his advanced skills one at a time or use a particular one every other turn if you keep
yeah.
spamming that particular type. He additional gets a whole bunch of attributes from using these two. So overall, he's gotten a lot stronger. If you go over to my channel, there's a specific video on him where I go into detail of how
Okay,
he's being used.
that's good.
So
That's good. So yeah, make sure you head if you want to learn more about Malkio, head over to Gandalf's channel. Have a look at the video. We're on to S tier, and we've got Veronica here. She is a very good poison hero, isn't she?
she is at ETH. She is pretty much the strongest single target
Yeah.
poison damage dealer.
She's like the
And
Malia of poison, isn't she?
Yeah, she is definitely. And her passive allows you to like does she her passive does so many things. If you go read her skills, it's like an essay, pretty much like every
I
other hero
know.
in the game they're
Yeah.
introducing.
Yeah.
Like you have to be very patient and read these essays.
Like book
Um,
authors.
I know, but I mean, to put it short, like she can literally double the number of stack of poison on your target. When things
Yeah.
die, their poison gets sent to the lowest health
I know, and that's
remaining
wonderful when that
enemy.
happens.
Yeah, it's like the exploding poison aspect of
Yeah.
things. So she does a lot as a poison. She can actually wave clear almost in a sense because of those abilities too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Quinlan is still at S here. Used to be a god tier hero, is S now.
yeah.
Still freezing and health burns. He can be huge, but his skill cooldowns are long. They are long. They're not short enough. Even with using the likes of Lydia and Marvel, they can
Yeah,
still be very long.
yeah, the thing here is, I mean, for the most part, I mean, they're 3 and 4 like most
Hmm.
heroes. The problem is you don't build your Quinn that fast. So
Yeah.
it feels like it takes a while for him to get. So that's why. But nonetheless, I mean,
I
he's
mean,
good.
he's a great wave clearer, but he's not very good against
He,
bosses.
no. So you will see him used in, for example, if you want to auto clear Elemental City, he's great for
Yeah.
wave clearing.
Yeah. Yeah. Bari becomes much more viable now as a burner. Dealing a lot more damage, isn't he? And he throws
Hmm.
bullets as piercing bullets as well, doesn't he, on burns, which is nice.
Yes. So that's kind of what makes him a lot more
Yeah,
viable at
yeah,
E3.
it can really do a lot of damage. Sigmund is still an S tier hero. The thing with Sigmund is that he doesn't improve much from E0 to E3. Not really. They're not massive for him. But he definitely still deserves to be an S. Still a very, very good health burner. Melia, again, she is down in S now compared to what she used to be. She's not used hardly as much. Still a very, very
Oh,
viable health burner for
yeah,
your team, though. Ikena, who definitely needs that E3, is in a S as a direct damage
yeah.
dealer. She can do a ton of damage, but she
She is a
requires,
boss layer, but requires
she,
quite a bit of setup,
yeah,
even
she
at
requires
E3.
a lot of setup. Yeah, she's very hard to
If you,
use. Certain teams need her. Hisaro, very, very good bleeder. And I will say that Hisaro is sitting up here really because of the likes of some of the new heroes that have come out, right?
yeah, I think Bleed has gotten into a position where, having Hazara on the team really helps.
Yeah,
Um,
especially
you
with
know,
Chardonnay.
because again, with his blade mark, further stacks um, the bleed damage taken. He's creating bleeds, causing it to trigger. And in
Yes,
PvE, very few heroes have severe wound on a
that's
3-turn
true.
cooldown,
Yeah, yeah,
right? You
yeah,
only have him and Lucifer right now, and you definitely need him for Gwen.
yeah,
Or you can, bring out Lucy. But for the most part, people actually, I would say, you can run bleed very well right now in PvE. So bring Hazaro for your Gwen team is almost staple now at
yeah,
higher stages.
yeah. Ana is a very good sort of utility burner, buffs attack. She also self speeds, doesn't she? And but her like
She
her,
self
yeah,
speeds, yeah.
it's crazy when she comes in and she can ignite all those burns at once. That does do a lot of damage. Um,
Yep.
but she's hard to continuously deal damage with unless you have the right team. Unless you have
Yeah.
O'Grady's, you know.
I mean, yeah, with O'Grady's, I mean, this is where you start to see, the entire burn team, right? Like your
Hmm.
your O'Grady's, Anna with your Andreas,
Yeah,
as being a staple setup
yeah.
together. Yeah, so it's really great to see that.
Lysander. I'm going to let you talk about Lysander because I haven't used him at all.
Lysander pretty much is a hero that does damage on your ally team's turn. He can't get very fast, so really you build a team around him
Yeah,
where you have fast support. His damage basically doesn't actually leave bleeds on the target. He doesn't actually add any bleed dots on the target. It's just bleed damage mixed with attack
Yeah,
damage
okay, so
directly.
he just acts every time an ally takes a basic attack, right?
That's right. He's like a little turret that's sitting on the side that goes pew 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 pew
Yeah.
with,
He's a really
every
cool
time
hero.
you're yeah, he's like the turret.
Yeah,
And at exclusive 3, he gets his ambush stacks really high up. So by the time he finally takes a turn, he does these massive nukes, I guess you call
yeah.
them.
Melot is
Yeah.
huge for poison teams as well. She can be really, really good in poison teams, can't she?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at just exclusive 1, right? That's a big one for her. But then at exclusive 3, now she increases her own damage too. So yeah, all of those joint attacks when she's triggering off additional poison damage, they all get higher.
Yeah.
And now she actually gets poison enhancement for the beginning of everybody's team, so that gets that stack up faster, so everybody joins
Her
attack even sooner.
her E3 though, I don't feel like she does a huge amount of damage herself. Have
The
you,
her self damage comes from the joint attack, right? So when she
yeah,
she additionally deals that damage, so that's considered a self damage. So then
yeah,
that times 4 other people. So that's like the 600 and 40%. Then you get the 35% on top of that.
yeah. It does. It does. I guess it does
So
multiply very nice.
yeah, so the way things multiply together a bit, she's actually okay, quite okay. Like she's staple on your poison only team,
Yeah. Yep. There you go.
along with the Coda. Yeah.
Um, Agatha E3. She does get the hero revive, the ally revive.
Yeah, she
Um,
is just that she's not
she's
kitted out
just
for PvE.
yeah. She's not
Like
kitted out for PvE.
her AoEs, her direct damage is up there. She does have
But let's
60
let's
single
just let's
target
just
damage
face it
too.
a second. If you have Agatha E3, you have all of these pretty much E3, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So I
Yeah,
mean, there's less than 10 people in the game right now that have her at E3, I
yeah,
think. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Grace,
point.
the new bleed hero. I
Mm.
really love her. The effect hit up to I think's massive. The only hero in the game who does that. Imagine having her. Say if you was early game, for instance, that would boost your account so much with damage over times.
Yeah, I think the that's what I was saying about earlier in terms of really nice addition to bleed teams. Bleed team naturally
Mhm.
have lower trigger percentages for their dots. Now you can
Yeah,
really build them full out mastery and attack,
and she has good
taking
support as well.
advantage. Yeah, great support capability. Like if you try the full bleed team, her plus Chardonnay at the core of your team, you
Yes,
stick on other
beautiful.
3 other bleeders.
Yeah,
That actually works really well. Like
yeah,
you run a full bleed team, like you have nice support capability just from those 2 alone.
for sure.
Uh,
Elena, Guhana, and Luna, they all still sit in at S here. I don't really. We've spoken about these so much in the past. They still deserve to sit there.
yeah,
Um,
they're your OG ones that are very strong support.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah.
Moving on up to S plus, and Bull is here. He just has such massive damage through those waves. So not only that, he can actually deal good damage against the boss as well. He can. He can. I've seen it. I've done it myself. He can do
Hmm.
really good damage against the boss if you have the likes of Rista, Ben Alston, that kind of thing going on with him, just for multiple attacks. Even Catherine as well paired up with him is nice too.
Yeah.
But
Heroes that can ramp up do really well
yeah,
in PvE, basically.
Aren't he Jin E3? This is another one that I haven't had the pleasure of owning, but I know she's massive. I know she's massive.
Let's just say with E2 and E3, her damage now is on par with has.
Yeah,
Enough said.
yeah. I mean, she's massive. She looks good too. Esther, who is now back into the current wish pool this Friday and is in trio match. I still really like Esther. I think Esther's but she's just got overshadowed a bit by Lydia, hasn't she?
Mm, pretty much. I think Lydia's just on a totally different level there.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
she's great
Esther
with her
in
eggs and
PvE is great. Like it, team revives, but it's
hmm
just you don't see her as much in compositions,
no, but she's still
except for
very
boss teams
useful.
and stuff like that.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, boss
Yes.
teams stuff like that. She's still a huge hero. Still definitely deserves that S plus. Pauline is
Yeah.
at S plus, and that should really show you how strong S plus is in this game at E3. because Paulin is there as well, and he is obviously a huge support to your team. We don't need to talk too much about him. Rista, I love Rista. He's so frigging good. Buffing the attack and sharing attack with an ally, then getting an extra turn after that. You can either stun, or you can go one step further and just use a basic attack joint with your highest direct damage if you want to.
Mhm.
So he's got a lot of versatility, hasn't he?
Yeah, the E3 gives the defense break, which
Yeah,
allows you to not even having to bring defense break anymore. I mean, it's the most critical part for dealing damage to
exactly.
high level targets, right? Because if you haven't checked out the damage formula portion, you really should check that out on my channel as well. Sorry, I'm just gonna do a couple of plugs there.
Dude. It's fine. You self advertise, bro. I'm here for you. We have Magdi as well. He is a big poison support hero. Um, really do like him, but he really does require a big team built around him. Like Magdi on
He
his own,
does.
Magdi on his own isn't,
Yeah.
he's not going to do much other than the shields are still very nice and a consolidation though. So he does bring a ton of
The
support, even
shield.
if you're using him without poisoners.
Yes, he does do a lot even on his own. Like you can use him in place of most of your other common shielders, and you can bring a little bit extra poison along with him too.
Let's
So,
talk about
but again, he's
Dakota.
optimal.
Let's talk about Dakota, and I'll let you talk about Dakota because I know you love Dakota. She's your favorite hero now.
Honestly, well, as much as being my favorite hero, I don't have her on either on my account.
Did you not get her from the
Which is,
hero box?
do you think I can afford the hero box?
Oh my god.
I am a poor man. I
Where's
am
the
a very poor
content?
man, and I
Why are you not in the content creator program?
okay, so maybe this is a moment that can we please go like sign up, put up a petition against the like to just put me on the creator program
I'll
for
have a chat with
IMR. Like
them. I'll have a chat with them.
this is really sad. I have put in my application. I have
Yeah.
hit the requirement for number of views, all of those things. Nope, I still haven't got a response yet.
Ugh.
So
Uh,
I'm a broke man that needs donations to keep
yeah.
my gaming addictions alive. So
Yeah.
please
I'll
help
see
out.
what I'll see what I can do on my end as well. I'll try and get you.
But let's talk about Dakota. Dakota basically is the core if you want to build, a poison heavy build base team because the
Yes.
removal of the stack allow you to really get the damage through. Without removing the poison stacks, for the likes of, Veronica and Nita, who can literally put 0 to 10 stacks every other turn
Hmm.
when their scales
Yeah.
are up, you're wasting damage, right? Like most of the damage are coming through the actual dots. So being able to turning that into like a 1800 or
Yeah.
2200
It's crazy.
nuke,
Yeah.
it's
And it is a
ridiculous.
nuke.
Every 3 turns at my ad, and she also does the team AoE speed up. So literally you have the entire support kit right there.
Yeah.
Plus she gets a revive for someone on your team if they
That's massive.
dies
Um.
accidentally, which is
Chard
massive
now.
support.
Chard now as well, another massive bleed hero. We've spoken a bit about Chard, but he just
Yep.
doesn't Chard now actually give speed up as well?
But that's right. So literally what the game is
Oh
now
my
introducing
god.
is a support hero dedicated to every dot damage type, basically.
Yeah, but he can
Right?
do
Chardonnay
massive.
and Grace.
Yeah, but like Shard now and freaking Hisaro itself is crazy just from having Hisaro trigger
Yeah,
his
just the two of them.
bleeds.
Just the two of them alone do a lot of damage too. So, yes, you're absolutely right.
How 9000, obviously, he just takes up so much damage for your team. He is a massive hero that was reworked. And he did a good job reworking him. Mamek still sits at S, plus another great hero who can self taunt. He'll never lose that taunt. He can be huge in your team as well. Doesn't Mamek do attack down as well on his basic? Is that right? Or is that on
Yes,
Horrify?
attack down is a Mamuk's basic, yes. But
Yes,
Mamuk,
and Horrify, yeah.
yeah, and Horrify. But exclusive 2 and 3 just makes him so much more tankier, right?
Yeah, because he heals
And
as
does
well,
way
doesn't
more
he?
healing, bigger heals.
Yeah.
Like it's yeah, he can heal an entire team by himself almost.
And if you don't have Mamook, you'd. I'm calling him Mamook now. It's Mammoth. Um,
Is it?
See, if he had a double O,
Okay,
I'd call him Mamook.
okay.
Mammoth. Yeah, okay,
Mamek.
whatever. Frick is another massive. If you don't have Mamek, you're going to want to use Frick. If you don't have Frick, you're going to want to use Mamek. If you don't have HAL 9000, you're going to want to use either of these as well.
Yeah,
But he's just huge on sustainability for your team, isn't he? And he provokes, doesn't he?
he does. I think at the higher exclusives, what really comes is that he's gonna be able to
Removes all debuffs from
remove all the
self.
debuff
Yeah,
himself. So yeah, I mean, for the most part, it's really his exclusive 2 and 3 help
yeah,
him survive even more, right? Like he
yeah.
starts out with taking reduced damage, and
I mean,
he gets
he's
angry, he's doing
massive
taking damage, but
without exclusives as well.
he is. Like he can literally like face tank bosses,
Yeah.
just like eat stuff.
Catherine is not in God tier. Imagine that. Imagine that. There's
Yeah,
just not enough room for her anymore. And she's
yeah.
so
You don't have.
good.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting to a place where at higher end teams, people for mid-range content, people are like running like 2 supports and 3 DPS almost
Yeah.
kind of situation where you're really doing those speed runs, doing higher level content. You just got way better support there now because
Yeah.
Lydia has kind of taken her spot
Yeah, for
because
sure.
Lydia brings
Lydia has, yeah,
consolidation
she's destroyed everything.
and then damage reduction.
Yep, no,
Or
she's
you can
destroyed the game.
or just yeah, well, yeah, and then the
I
turret
mean, we used
reduction
to
too.
say that Nicholas destroyed it, Lydia destroyed it.
No, Lydia destroys the game now.
Yeah.
So the staple support now is like Lydia,
Yeah.
Nordak,
Seth, though, is
Tan.
still a very good hidden waves hero here. I really like Seth.
And if you don't have access to Lydia, for sure, Seth,
Yeah,
Catherine,
he will
both
do.
are super great. Like huge amount of heals, big
Huge
fat
shield.
shields,
Yeah,
keep your team alive, right? Like
he does a really good job at that.
yeah,
Ben Austin is at S plus as well. Again, another hero that's struggling to fit into teams late game. Still has a huge amount. If you
yeah,
have
Ben.
his on you, he still has great combos. But I just wish we had
Yeah,
6 slots on a team.
he's just yeah. If we had the 6 slot, maybe he'll be there. But for the most part, I mean, you see him on boss team. He's stable on boss teams
Yeah,
for sure. Like
yeah. Lucaia,
he's
still a
really good.
massive single target bleed damage dealer. Still a very good mythic. Same as Allcaster as well. I know a lot of people are going to moan about Allcaster not being in God tier. I know it. I know it already. Um, I could probably name
Really?
them. Yeah, they will. They
They
will.
will. Okay, I know. So before we start I mean, we still have Lucifer, still OG,
Yeah,
very high damage dealer, single target. If you actually go look at the boss charts, pretty much all your top teams are still using Lucifer. You
yeah,
still see a
yeah. But
lot
I
of
love
play for
Lucifer
him.
still. I still love Lucifer. Lucifer's
Yeah,
still awesome.
both Lucifer and Allcaster have a huge role to play in Elemental
Yeah.
City too.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, massively.
lot of place for those two to have play.
Yeah. Moving to
So
God tier. Are we going to move to God tier? Or are we still
yeah,
talking about these?
yeah. Let's go to God tier.
Yeah.
But just to preface, right? Like what we consider God tier is we're now looking at end game content,
Hmm.
specifically what is actually required all of those teams. So if you start
Yeah.
looking at like people who are clearing stage 36 plus and you see what they use, this is kind of like
Yeah.
what's left there.
Yeah.
We picked basically one damage dealer of every type that you need because you need poison, burn,
Yeah.
bleed
Yeah. You
separately,
need the
right? And
whole
then
shebang.
you that's right. Then you look at the best supports people use.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be, well, you got the four, right?
So you got.
Nordak,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got four. Literally the four. Four, Nordak, Lydia, Marvel and Santa. You do not see other ones.
Yeah. They're
You
just
really
massive.
don't have room for other ones,
I made that video, didn't I?
right?
How to cheat the game, and that was literally Nordak,
That's right.
Lydia,
And
Marvel, and Nicholas.
that's kind of your way of getting your way through the content. And then you bring one other DPS, that's
Yep.
basically your team.
Yep. And
Five
that's just the
spots.
way it is. It's just the way it is.
It is, yeah.
Friggin' joke, but it is what it is. Andraz is a massive burn. He did take a little while to get
Yeah.
going though, but he is this huge burn, especially if you have O'Grady's or you.
Yep.
But he
At
still needs the likes of
40 stack.
Arna.
Yeah.
He
Yep,
he is
for sure.
he is a great hero.
Yep.
Just so much damage, especially on his skill 4 where he just like, destroys a boss.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Nidrold as well. I mean, we don't really need to talk much about Nidrold or Azonia, but we will anyway. Obviously, he's got more blades coming down from his sword flurry, putting bleeds around on the enemies. His skill 2 is still dealing massive damage. Nidrold is one of the oldest ones. I think, who are the only ones surviving here? Nidrold and Hizonia are the only heroes in here
Um,
that are old. I know
yeah,
Nita's old, but she got reworked. So's Nordak. He got reworked.
yeah.
They're the only
Those are your.
heroes.
No, Nidrod actually had a rework. To be fair, he had a
Did
rework
he?
early on. He did. He did. He used to be pretty bad. After the rework, he does much higher percentages. His percentage went up a lot. Before it was like only 20% or something on his basic and like 25 on his ultimate to land a bleed stack or something.
Nidrold had a
But
rework? I don't
yeah,
remember this.
it was part of the bleed hero rework as a whole.
Oh my god.
So it was a while ago. But yeah, Nidroid at that point also I think got some other upgrades too to his kit in terms of how hard he hit or the number of times he hit. Yeah, but
Really?
Nidroid he did, yes. Go back, check the patch notes or history. I'm sure
I
you
don't
can
need
just
to, you're
scroll right
telling
through the
me.
Discord. Yeah,
If
but no, he had a rework. So the only one from the original kit that has not been touched is
Sonya.
actually Hez. So, and
Oh
we
my
knew,
god.
right? When you were introducing the game a year ago, we're very close to the 1 year anniversary too. So,
Mm-hmm.
a year ago when the game came out, everyone was like raving, the Dragon Boy, he's the one that everyone has to reroll for, right? Good luck trying to get him. To a point where
Yeah.
now new players
Can
get
get him in
to get
7
him
days. Yeah.
if you manage to, clear all the hell
Yeah.
content within 5 or 7 days.
He's
Yeah.
just so good. He's still so good.
Yeah.
Nicholas is
I don't
sitting
have one.
here. Yeah. Oh, don't
I
you
don't have
don't
none
have
either.
his.
It's so sad. I don't have either of them.
Oh my god. Nicholas
I know.
E3 is
So sad.
massive. He just goes a bit busted at E3. For your team with that apple, just a
Uh,
game
the
changer.
the 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 apple is a lifesaver. Let's just put it that way.
That apple is his
Sometimes
biggest thing
it
now.
happens. Yeah, it's bigger than his freeze to be honest,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
sometimes you just need to survive a couple of extra turns. Sometimes the boss is just going to one shot you.
yeah.
Well, you now just bought yourself a few more
Yeah,
turns.
exactly.
Recycle back.
Marvel is. I love Marvel, and I said it when she was released. I love Marvel, and some of you was like, "Are you trolling us, cars? Like you're just saying that she's good." No, she is that good. You've seen it. You've seen it in proof in a video how good she is.
Yeah,
Especially now Lydia's here, just
yeah, but
extending those turns.
the
How
buff extension.
it's just crazy. The
Well,
skill cooldown.
on top of it, right? The skill cooldown is E1, which is big. The bigger one actually is the full buff extension.
Yeah,
I believe is it all attribute or is it all buff?
all buff,
Do you remember?
all buffs.
Okay, so that's what allows you to have like Nordak,
Yeah,
you know, damage immunity up the
yeah,
entire time.
yeah,
That's the bigger one.
and all your shield,
Nordak used to be able
everything.
to do it, but yeah, no,
She's
this
gross.
is ridiculous at E3.
But also on basic,
So,
she friggin' extends all attribute debuffs to the boss as well, or any enemy.
oh yeah, well that's just extra nice on top, but
Yeah,
that's why people just don't even need to run Santa anymore, right? I
yeah,
mean, you just run those three,
yeah,
your
yeah.
cheat
Because
code.
you're not taking any damage
Be
anyway, so it doesn't matter, does it?
No, you just need to build the three of them super fast, and then you're done,
Yeah.
right? You'll never
Um,
get hit.
O'Grady's. I have just unlocked O'Grady's. I'm still getting used to using her, but she's awesome. Especially putting burn. She does what Feist does at the beginning of each wave. She just puts burn on the enemies.
Yeah, and then there's the shielding, there's the
Yeah,
team AoE speed up. There's
yeah,
just so much she does.
yeah.
It's
She's
crazy for your
awesome.
version.
Valentine or Valentina, the new that
Anyone
no
have her
one's
yet?
tested. No one has her yet, but she is insane. She
Yeah, I
her
done a little bit of testing. Her kit is quite something.
yeah,
Her AoE bleed damage definitely rivals Nidroid, if not more. She's like
yes,
your Nidroid plus your freeze,
yeah, yeah.
plus amping up your freeze
She's
damage.
gonna be
Sorry, your bleed
wonderful.
damage a little bit more. Well, it'll be probably a couple more weeks before people start using her, maybe.
Yeah,
But
and then we'll have to see if it was right and if she actually needs moving down. But we'll find out. But she is looking
yeah,
crazy.
I mean, if you want to clear Grilling at higher levels, right? You need bleed.
Yeah,
Right now, Nidroid is the only one. Now you bring in Valentina, you now get a
yeah,
little bit of control, plus more bleed damage, which is
that's true.
exactly what you need at the higher stages. So
Little
it's
Jack
kind of
is
helping everyone.
is freaking insane. His damage is
Yeah,
just crazy, especially against bosses. And if you see a
at
little
E3.
Jack in a, oh my god, it's just goodbye, boss. Those bombs, Jesus,
Hmm.
like wow,
Yeah. And you thought
insane.
E2 was the key one where well, E2 is turning him into a stat stick for all of your
Yeah, but that
E3, where he starts
E3
doing
is
a lot of
so much
damage
damage. Yeah,
himself.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Lydia, oh, we
Okay.
just love Lydia. She's just crazy. In all
Yeah.
aspects of the
I
game, the
hate her so
entire
much
game.
because I don't have one.
You don't have a
So that's
Lydia?
why no, what do you think I am? Do I look like a Kraken to you? Right?
What?
I literally am free to play on, like, I haven't spent an extra dollar on Gandalf the White after I obtained that account, and then on the gray it's been very minimal.
Oh my
Just to get a
goodness.
couple of exclusive upgrades. I know I'm broke. I am broke, so I'm pleading for you guys to help me get to the content creator status.
We'll see what we can do.
And I also hate
Nita.
Lydia so much that I created a video on how to beat Lydia teams.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Oh my god. Nita at E3 is massive, deals so much damage. She is. I really like Nita. Actually, she's the main poison hero you can have in your team as well. But then Veronica is
I
very
know you said
different,
Dakota was my favorite hero.
but Nita is.
Yeah, she's a Nita is your AoE queen. Nita will be my favorite hero. It's actually not Dakota, but
Ah,
but it's okay. Now you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, she's insanely good. Um, and she
Yeah.
doesn't need any introductions. Nordak as well doesn't need any more introductions either. And this god tier, just that friggin' damage immunity, the shields. He does actually good damage as well. He's just a beast to reconcile with, and you'll see him in every top team. You'll see a Nordak now.
Yep.
So we got through it.
Yep.
You didn't cough too much.
We did.
Um, you did good.
No, I didn't cough too much. I survived. I was actually worrying that I needed to, just run away and get water, but I managed to survive. So,
Yeah. No, well done. So Gandalf, thank you for being here again on the final exclusive free legend tier list that we need to do at the moment, and for hopefully a couple of months when there's more heroes, or reworks kind of
yeah,
thing.
for sure.
Don't forget to go and subscribe to Gandalf's channel, guys. Help him get that content creator status. Be appreciated. Thank you. And from me, thank you very much. Have a fantastic day, even wherever you are. Goodbye. And from Gandalf,
Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy your day.
take care, everyone. Goodbye.